The metaphysical candlelighting ceremony really connected with me, and the topic for this month when I saw the website being faith. So first and foremost, I want to thank Unity of Calgary for welcoming me on behalf of Fresh Start, and for your contributions and help to bring more awareness to recovery from addiction. There's so much stigma still attached to it, and a lot of times people think it's the person under the bridge, or it's the negative images that you see. These days it's your neighbor, it's the person that you work with, it's a family member, and it's come so close to home, and so it's been really tough out there. And unfortunately, even this last week, lost a couple of friends to this disease, and so those things never get easier. But having a community like you guys that are open to listening and to understanding is just such a blessing and a gift. So really appreciate all of you. So I am Robby, Sidhu. I'm a person in long-term recovery, the Director of Communications for Fresh Start, and also a proud alumni of our organization. So Fresh Start itself started in 1992. We're nationally recognized as a leader in the addiction center. We have locations in Calgary and Lethbridge, so we have about 123 beds for live-in treatment. It's about a 3-month program, and you can stay on longer if need be. We have access to second stage housing as well, and the continuum of care has been the biggest thing. So our insight, compassion, and understanding of addiction and recovery allow us to not only offer our clients a safe refuge from addiction, but also engage them to become a part of our recovery community, and that was the biggest thing for me. A lot of times you'll hear people say that the opposite of addiction is connection, and for me, the opposite of addiction was community, because I had lost that connection to community. I had started to isolate a lot more, and in my head, I thought I was harming a lot less people when I was spending a lot more time harming myself, but that's just not the case, because there was a few things that stuck out, and I'll get to that from the candlelighting ceremony. But the biggest thing, first thing that I heard in recovery that stuck by me so long is, we'll love you until you can love yourself. Mm-hmm. And so if you can continue to keep coming back until it finally sticks, that's so beautiful. And I mean, I feel that energy here, and I feel that energy in the rooms of recovery, that you're welcome to keep coming back until we learn to love ourselves. So the continuum of care has been a huge thing as well. So some of the other places that I went prior to Fresh Start, I'd come back and I'd be back with the exact same community. And I'm not saying the community was bad, it was myself. I had an internal spiritual malady, and until I started to look into that and dive deeper and actually do some work on it, I found myself in the exact same place over and over and over again. And going through Fresh Start with the amazing alumni, I had a community around me that had been through some like issues, and people that I could relate to right off of the bat, and start to build relationships with, and learn that I could have fun without alcohol or drugs. That was huge for me. Doing a lot of the same things that only used to revolve around those pieces, I was able to find friends to start to do those things again. So I'm extremely blessed to be an alumni of Fresh Start, and it's so wonderful to see the people that come out. I would invite you guys at any point on our social media or website. We have our gratitude and milestone meetings on, and you guys are welcome to come join us and be a part of that celebration, and to see kind of the transformation that comes. So the metaphysical candlelighting ceremony was very cool, and the principles that were on those candles, I connected with those, and then in preparation for coming here, I thought maybe, I'm not sure if you guys know too much about the steps of recovery, but I thought I'd just quickly kind of share those. So Fresh Start, they allow you to go to multiple different meetings throughout the week to find what works for you. There's different fellowships in the program of recovery, and so there's many pathways to recovery from addiction. And so I just want to say that this is my journey. This is not necessarily the complete view of Fresh Start, because every individual has their own journey to recovery. So faith, the topic was really wonderful because that is something that wavered in my life of addiction. I lost that conscious contact with a power greater than myself, and they say selfishness and self-centeredness is what the root of addiction is, and that's kind of where it brought me to. It was always about me and not about community or the people that I was hurting. And coming into recovery and looking at that is difficult, but it's really wonderful to be there for the people that were always there for me, and to give back. So the first step in the program of recovery is we admitted we were powerless over our addiction and that our lives had become unmanageable. My life was pretty unmanageable, and so until I had a bottom sufficient enough, I wasn't able to allow anybody else to start to manage that for me. And it was the principle that goes along with this. There's multiple principles for each step, but the one that connected with me with this one was acceptance. So until I was able to accept that and ask somebody else to help me manage my life, because I wasn't doing a very good job of it. I wasn't, ready to commit or move forward in this program. So when I was able to do that, things started to get a little bit better, but I was still quite a bit in my way. The second step came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. And clearly me in my life being the higher power was not working. And when we come to the rooms of recovery, sometimes it's as easy as looking at the word God as good orderly direction, or the group of people that are around us. And so when I saw that it was working for other people and other people had a higher power in their lives, I was able to finally say, okay, I'll open my mind up a little bit and I'll see if it's working for them, then I'll give this a shot. Maybe it may at some point work for me. So the third step of recovery is made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. And so the principle beside that is faith, and the one that we're talking about today. And that's the biggest thing for me in my journey through recovery. It wasn't necessarily the drugs or the alcohol. It was the internal spiritual malady that I needed to get to, and to look at those pieces to be able to start to make a change. So followed by that step, it's immediate action is required. It's not, they say that faith without works is dead, and that's a saying in recovery. And so we make a fearless and moral inventory of ourselves. So that includes fears, resentments, harms. We take inventory and we look at all of those pieces. And for me in the beginning, in the first couple of columns of writing, it's a lot of finger pointing outwards. And the shift and the change comes when we start to look at ourselves, because all of those circumstances, resentments, fears, we did something to place ourselves in that. And so looking at our part is humongous. And so in step 5, so honesty or courage is the principle with step 4. And step 5 is admitting to God, to ourselves, and another human being the exact nature of our wrongs, and honesty is that one. So I shared that list when I wrote it. I was with God, and then I sit with somebody else that's been through this. It could be a person in recovery, it could be a priest, a pastor, anybody that's connected spiritually to principles and values, because that's what I've strayed away from, and that's the advice that I'm trying to seek to come back to those. Step 6 and 7, they go kind of hand in hand for me. The step 6 is we're entirely ready to have God remove these defects of character, and that humility is the principle that goes along with that. Sometimes through humiliation, sometimes through other pieces, but it starts to deflate the ego and show me that I'm not running things, and I'm a part of a much bigger thing. And step 7 is humbly ask Him to remove our shortcomings, so turning them over to God. And the willingness is the principle that goes along with that one. So identifying those pieces, the patterns, that came up in my inventory that I talked to with my sponsor, and starting to live in the opposite of those pieces that brought me to where I was. Step 8 is making a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. Willingness is the principle with that one. So looking at the people that I've harmed, and step 9 is made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so or injure them or others. Because there's some that we can't directly make, but we can indirectly change our behaviors and the ways that we've acted in those relationships so we do not repeat those. And so love is the principle with that step. Step 10 is kind of a combination of step 4 through 9, something that I can do in the instant daily. So continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. So basically, in any circumstance in my life, I can take a step back and I can look at, take an inventory of what just happened, or if it's a fear coming up, I can talk to God about it, call somebody else that's God-centered, that's going to give me some decent advice, not reach out to a bunch of people that are going to give me the advice that I finally want. And, make an amends if I need to, right in that instant. And so I'm not creating that wreckage. And, in step 9, I start to clear the wreckage of my past and start to rebuild those relationships and those connections with the people that I've harmed along the way. And it's a really wonderful feeling not have to look over your shoulder as often anymore, right? Step 11, this one is huge. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. So self-discipline is the principle with that step. And I start every morning and I finish every evening with prayer and meditation. So in step 10, sometimes we miss some things throughout the day as well. And after I connect with my higher power, I have the opportunity to do inventory. And so I can look if I've been selfish, if I've been dishonest, have I been helpful to others, or was I staying in self, and had I harmed anybody that day that I missed in the product of my day. And if it's not too late, I'm able to give them a call and kind of repair that, or in the morning I can look at that again, because the way that I start my day is very similar. Prayer, meditation, I review my inventory, and then I set out my plans for the day. And I'll talk a little bit about that later when with the candlelight principles, because that kind of really connected me with some of these pieces. And 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to people in recovery, to practice these principles in all of our affairs. So there's the one saying that one of my mentors used to say that stuck by me, and that's, how I do anything is how I do everything. And that's, for me, that's something that I wasn't in my past, but today you won't find me any different in my workplace, being here, in the relationship with my girlfriend. Anywhere that I am, I carry the same principles and values, and I try to do right every single day. So all of these steps allowed me to start to repair the past and be better every day by reconnecting with the principles and values instilled in us all. In the candlelighting ceremony, there were 12 candles, each representing a principle that connected me to my personal experience in recovery. So the first one was faith. In the beginning, I could believe that something was working for the people around me in the rooms, and that was the start I needed to proceed with the action to move forward. Today, faith, prayer, meditation, and a connection with God are what propels me daily to do the next right thing and to be of service to others around me. Spiritual strength. With faith, I've been able to stay the course through everything that life throws at me. Today, I can lean on God and continue to give back and to do the necessary work to help others recover from a hopeless state of mind and body. And life absolutely doesn't get easier in recovery. It doesn't change. Unfortunately, I've had to go to a couple of funerals this week, and in the past, I would have tried to numb those feelings by reaching for a substance. And today I have a community, I have family, I have pillars, I have faith, I have people to lean on and do the next right thing and just continue to help others so other people don't have to go through some of these feelings. Wisdom. This one provoked a couple of thoughts for me. So principles before personalities. When we're doing service in business meetings for keeping the meeting rooms open, love and tolerance is our code. And so, I was pretty brash when I came into the rooms of recovery too, and I had a lot of ego. And it took time for me to deflate that. And why am I not giving others that same opportunity so that they can find a home? This is it. Everything comes back to me because I never want to stop learning, right? And understanding that there are many pathways to the same destination and being open to continue learning has been a gift. Coming through spirituality, coming through church, going through a 12-step fellowship. There's so many paths to get back my faith, and my faith grows with each one of them. And sharing some time with you guys that day was just, it was so cool. And each word, the way that it was explained, and even the nativity, just so wonderful to hear it in a different perspective. I really, really enjoyed that. Love. So with this, I thought of making amends and connecting back with community. I'm surrounded by love and fellowship. I've come to love myself once again, and I'm capable of loving others, which makes this a life worth living. Power. In my addiction, I felt powerless. Through a reconnection to the community and service, I felt the power of working together with others for the greater good. Learning that I'm powerless over people, places, and things, I have taken dominion of my own thoughts and feelings and how they will affect others. So I try to do the best I can every day to not make as much damage around, so I'm able to work together with others, because together we're so much more powerful than I am on my own. Imagination. Aligning with God's will for me and living day by day in loving principles and thinking of others has led me to a life beyond my wildest imagination. Things in my life that seemed never to be a reality continue to manifest as long as I continue on this path. Understanding. The first thought that came to my mind was the ripple effect, and how my actions affected those around me, and how my negative actions impacted so many in a negative way. And today I make a conscious, I understand I make a conscious effort to make it a positive impact daily, so that those ripples can be felt by others, and it opens maybe somebody else's heart to try a better way of living and to overcome addiction. Will. Today I turn my will over every day and ask God, ask what God would have me do and to help others. If I can stay as far away from selfishness as possible, I stay as connected to my higher power and community as possible. Divine order. After turning my will over to God, when setting out the plans for my day, I include and collaborate with those around me to be able to move in harmony. That really connected with me, because my will literally was the one thing that was holding me back from everything, and starting to align that with the principles and values that you guys teach here and that I was taught in recovery. It makes a lot better for all of those around me, and I'm able to live each day with an open heart, and I no longer look down at the ground. I'm able to walk proudly through this life. Zeal. Today I love all that I do in my life: work, service, relationships. It's easy to be enthusiastic, passionate, inspirational, and motivational about life and living if you love what you're doing and giving back. Letting go. Let go and let God is a powerful saying that stuck with me. Letting go of my old beliefs, limiting thoughts, and ego, and making room for divine wisdom is key in my day, stopping me from slipping back to defects of character and creating more damage. life. Life on life's terms, and what a beautiful life it is today. I'm alive, awake, joyous, and enthusiastic about life and living. I love the words, the way that they were laid out. It was just a beautiful phrase. And learning more about unity, preparing for today has brought me closer to God and continue to strengthen my faith. So I really appreciate this opportunity and to be a part of that last experience and to be a part of the experience today. 99 steps, right? It was so hard for me to continue to take that first step. And for many years, I took that one step forward and I continued to take 99 steps back. February 22nd, 2017 is my sobriety birthday. That's the day that I decided to take that one step forward and start to feel the presence of my higher power. And those 99 steps that my higher power took towards me, it started to fill this hole and this void that was inside me for so long. And it's incredible, for so many years I thought money, things would be the ones that were gonna fill this void, but it's not. It's service, it's fellowship, it's faith. A connection to my higher power has filled that void. And today, thankfully, I don't go around making so much mess. I'm not perfect, but I don't make as much damage today. So I'm able to repair that, and I'm able to wake up and continue to help others. So thank you for sharing your morning with me, and once again, thanks to your community for your support of our cause. We really, really appreciate it. I'll share this. I had no idea where to turn in the beginning. And so that was one of the biggest hurdles. And the stigma in my community and stigma in the community in general, sometimes it was more acceptable for me to continue going down the path that I was. And I didn't know anybody that was living in recovery. And so today, I'm proud of my recovery. I'm loud. I never wanted to be a poster boy for any of this, but I'm able to, I get phone calls from people that are from my past, that are from my community, that don't have anybody to turn to like I did. And so today I hope that they don't have to struggle as long as I did to be able to find the supports. And Fresh Start for me has been that guiding light. The Fresh Start symbol is a compass. And there's on the front steps, there's 12 steps that lead up to the front door of our center. And on the top step, it says, "Welcome home, you're no longer alone." And the feeling that I felt when I came into the house the first time, there was so much fear walking up those steps. But as soon as I came in through those doors, I was embraced by like 40 guys. And so, I'm fresh there, so much fear. But there was so much love because they had started already their connection with their higher power. They'd started to give back. And through working the steps, through going through the program of Fresh Start, I was able to reconnect to community. And man, I missed that. I never in a million years would I have thought to be asked to come speak anywhere. And today, I get so much more out of these engagements than I think I do speaking, because when I take the time to speak to each one of you and learn about how many connections we actually have. So being here the other day for the candlelighting ceremony, I know people here because they know people that I know in my life. And it's one degree of separation, so it's such a beautiful thing. Thank you so kindly.
So thank you, Robby. Before you disappear here, I want to say, who would ever think that as I sat listening to you, I thought, what a gift. Twice I've had the privilege of talking about blessings. And twice I thought, what a blessing it was that you went through that journey and now you are here for others. Like, it was so purposeful. It's hard to imagine that all that hardship, all that difficulty was a gift, but really, in the end, it was. It was a gift because we have a blessing of who you are bringing forward to the world. And we have the blessing of this beautiful, beautiful organization. And I know that we're getting all ready to slip into our meditation. And I'm taking this moment to say, are you guys okay to pause while we present Fresh Start with the funds that we actually gathered at Christmas time? So our president, Stefan Belgrade, who we lovingly call Dances with Light, will take the honors.
Luckily, Robby and I are about the same height. What a blessing. Such heart, such kindness. Such faith, such love. Words somehow seem inadequate to describe the man you are today. So I'm deeply honored to present you with not only a card but also a check for in the amount of $934.25. So, on behalf of the entire community, I would like to say thank you for what you do for Calgarians, for anybody that's suffering from addiction. I myself haven't had necessarily any addiction I've needed to overcome, or at least, but your words really touched me, so thank you.